Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do a project using the gallery view in Android. So first, we've got to create a new project. Alright, this application is just going to be named Gallery. I don't feel like really changing anything here, but you can change this title, which will represent the title at the top of the page. Or we can change the activity names here in the layout name, but you don't have to. Alright, you'll notice sometimes it takes a little bit to build the activity. This activity main screen is actually going to be the graphical layout of your actual app right here. You'll see the Hello World's already in here, which honestly we can just go in and delete. That's automatically in there. So main things we're going to work on right now is we're going to do between this layout and this Java file. But before that, these drawable things we have to put in our pictures for our gallery real quick. And I've already chosen my pictures here. Literally just select them all, drag them in. Okay. But the fun thing is you gotta do it for all 4 folders that say drawable. Okay, now that they're in there, let's start working. We're not gonna work. I'm gonna automatically save because I did some stuff in there, but we're not gonna work in this view so much as into the code itself back here. All right. First, we're gonna change this layout to linear. The relative layout, at least in my Eclipse, is automatically the default. Okay. Now, when you do the linear layout, you have to actually do this orientation, or you won't see anything, or you'll only see one thing. Now, if you notice, I'm going to keep on hitting the save button throughout the code, and that's just to make sure that I keep on saving in case of a crash or anything else. I'm just kind of anal that way. Alright, so now we're going to build a text view. Text view is that same little box that actually had the Hello World. Now fill parent makes it so, I hate when that happens right there. The fill parent makes it so the text box is as wide as the screen. And you want wrap content here. And what that does is it keeps it down to one line if you only have one line of text. But if you have multiple lines, it will widen, it will grow as you go on. The book actually has the same images San Francisco that I'm copying out of, but I'm going to change this to demotivational. Alright. The first thing is you're going to see this little thing come up here, and it says you're supposed to use this, you're better using this @string resource. So what I'll come in here and I'll go into the strings here. And I'm just going to add an @string. Okay, let's save that. Now how we use this name here, we're going to change this at string, motivational, and you'll see that goes away. Now when you're doing these strings, you can do them right here, or you can go in here and actually do it this way. Certain things like this hello world you can delete out if you don't use it. I'm not going to really mess around in here too much because I don't need to. Alright, so that's basically for the like the header right above the gallery. So here we're going to actually start building the gallery. Now so you'll notice with Eclipse sometimes we'll do these little helpful things here. So, but when it does that, pay attention to it because sometimes you'll get something in there that you don't want. Now you want this @+ID on here. And what the important part of this ID right here is so when you're coding in the Java file, it can find the name of this actual gallery. It IDs it throughout the whole program, throughout the whole code. Sometimes you can just double click that. That makes life so much easier. Yeah, and then we're going to use that wrap content. Alright, for the gallery it's going to contain an image view. Now this one's a little different because we're actually using a specific setting. Remember, sometimes it'll throw those extra little things in there for you. The reason for this right here is because you're going to have multiple images and you're going to be able to see multiple images on the screen in the gallery. If you set this too big, you're not going to be able to see as many. Alright, so that's your layout here. If you go to the graphical layout, you're not going to really see too much, right? Now this is going to see this little image view. Every time you do an image view, it's going to ask for a content description. And you're going to get this little yellow thing if you don't have it. This yellow thing is not an error, but more of a suggestion. Okay? So don't drive yourself crazy with it too much. Alright. I'm not going to worry about right here too much yet. I want to see what's happening and why it's going to do that. So we're going to open up with the Java itself. Actually, first, before I do that, down here at the values, I'm going to have to put a different, another XML file. So we're going to go File, New, Other, XML. This one's going to be called ATTRS XML. Now, even though I double-clicked XML file and stuff like that, when you do the file name, you still want that back in there because otherwise it'll just be some file sitting inside. Let's go through here. Bam. Alright. This is what you get when you file a new one up, so don't worry about it. Alright. You see it's automatically putting some stuff in here, right? I'm just going to clear that. Alright. Okay. That's this whole big file that I just set up. That's all it needs right here in this, ATTRS XML here. Alright. So now we're going to start working on the rest of the, onto the Java side right here. Alright. This is where a lot of your major coding can go in. We could have done everything we did in that activity main XML right here if we wanted to. But, decided not to. Alright. First of all, you'll see that this automatically makes this menu thing. We don't need this. We're not going to be putting in a menu. Alright. So we're going to have a bunch of imports, okay? Alright. So I'm going to be putting them in. This activity is because main activity extends activity. Every time you open up a page or whatever, it's an activity. The bundle is for this onCreate method here. What it does when it actually builds.